There's a point on your body that, according to an ancient Egyptian secret, can cure over 100 diseases. I know it sounds impossible, and most people will doubt it, but what if I told you that this point can, in less than 3 minutes, relieve your anxiety, combat insomnia, and even stop nausea and palpitations? I'll show you the exact location of this point and how to activate it correctly. But most importantly, by the end of this video, you'll understand why this knowledge was so closely guarded for so long and how it was used to restore even an Egyptian god. This isn't mysticism, it's a mechanism of your body they never wanted you to know about. If you doubt it, great. Stay with me and see for yourself. And if you've ever felt that healing is within you, comment below. I hold the key. Healing is a matter of time, but sometimes it is also a matter of opportunity. The way this point works is so incredible because its origin is not linked to the healing of a mere mortal, but to the restoration of a god. To understand the true dimension of this power, our journey takes us back to the banks of the Nile, to a time of myth and magic, where Thoth, the ibis-headed god, reigned as the architect of wisdom, writing, and healing. He was not just a guardian of knowledge, he was the master of universal balance, one who understood the hidden laws that govern reality and knew how to manipulate energy to restore order from chaos. His reputation as the greatest healer of the Egyptian pantheon was forged in one of the most important myths of their civilization. In the legendary and violent battle between Horus and his uncle Set, the symbol of disorder, Horus's eye was brutally torn out and shattered into 6 pieces. The loss of the eye represented not just a physical wound, it symbolized the breakdown of divine order, the momentary victory of darkness over light. The universe was out of balance, and it seemed nothing could repair what had been so definitively broken. It was a symbol of absolute chaos. It was then that Thoth intervened. With his infinite patience and cosmic wisdom, he used not force but knowledge. He gathered each of the 6 fragments of the lost eye and, through an act of magic and sacred science, united them again, restoring not only Horus's vision, but the very harmony of the cosmos. This act became the eternal symbol of healing, proof that what is broken can be mended, that what is divided can be united. The restored eye of Horus became one of Egypt's most powerful amulets, a constant reminder of the power of restoration. But Thoth's secret wasn't just for the gods. In the sacred temples, known as houses of life, he taught priests and healers that the human body was a mirror of the cosmos. Like the universe, our bodies possess their own power centers, their own energetic portals. He revealed that true healing wasn't a process of adding something from outside, but of awakening a force that already exists within us. He left behind a map, not of stars in the sky, but of points of light within the human body, keys capable of unlocking our innate potential for regeneration. Within this body map, one key in particular was considered the most sacred, the most potent. It was the point Thoth used as a focus to channel the energy that restored the divine eye. Its exact location and the precise method of its activation were closely guarded secrets, taught only to the most advanced initiates. They knew that this point not only healed the physical body, it calmed the soul, cleared the mind, and realigned the spirit with the universal order. It was the master key to restoring balance on all levels of being. What was so special about this particular point? Why was it considered the epicenter of Thoth's healing power? The answer lay not only in its physical location, but in its function as a bridge between the visible and invisible worlds. This point was a direct channel to the life force that animates all creation. Activating it was like opening a floodgate so that the river of life could flow freely, clearing blockages and restoring harmony. But this knowledge would not remain forever confined to the sands of Egypt. Like a seed carried by the wind, it was destined to travel and flourish in distant lands. The meeting of two worlds. This sacred knowledge, born on the banks of the Nile, was not meant to be imprisoned in pyramids or hieroglyphic texts. Like an underground river, Thoth's wisdom began to flow silently beyond Egypt's borders. His journey took him along caravans crossing deserts and mountains, following the legendary Silk Road, the great commercial and cultural artery connecting the West with the mysterious East. And it was on this path, in this melting pot of peoples and ideas, that something extraordinary happened. Two of the greatest wisdoms of the ancient world met and recognized each other. While the Egyptians wore copper or gold amulets and bracelets on their wrists, believing they protected the heart and soul from negative influences, thousands of miles away in China, Taoist sages were developing their own map of the human body. They saw it not as flesh and blood, but as an energetic landscape traversed by invisible rivers of life force, which they called meridians. They discovered that along these rivers there were specific points that acted as floodgates, capable of regulating the flow of energy and maintaining the health of body and mind. At some point in history, perhaps in a bustling oasis or port city, an Egyptian healer and a Taoist sage may have exchanged knowledge. The Egyptian may have spoken of the power of the wrist as a gateway to the heart, while the Chinese may have shown his detailed maps of the meridians running down the arm. And in that moment, they realized that, though they used different languages and symbols, they were speaking exactly the same universal truth. The human body is a sacred instrument, and certain points within it hold master keys to well-being. This convergence was striking. The Egyptians, with their Hermetic tradition, focused on internal alchemy and connection with the divine, and the Chinese, with their pragmatic and detailed approach to the flow of vital energy, or qi, came to the same conclusion. Both cultures placed monumental importance on a specific area of the body, the inner forearm near the wrist. For them, that small patch of skin was no ordinary part of the body. It was an epicenter of power, a nexus where the energy of the heart and mind met and could be harmonized. Imagine the scene: two wise men from completely different worlds looking at the same point on a person's wrist and recognizing, each in their own tradition, a portal of immense power. What for one was a place of spiritual protection linked to the teachings of Thoth, for the other was a vital point on a meridian that governed inner peace. The intuition was the same, the wisdom was the same. What emerged from this encounter was not a new technique, but the confirmation of a timeless truth that transcends culture and geography. This fusion of knowledge solidified the idea that there is a specific point where all this ancient wisdom converges, a point that does not belong to a single culture but to the heritage of humanity. From that moment on, knowledge ceased to be merely an Egyptian secret or a Chinese technique. It became a universal science of the energetic body. And it was in China that this science reached a level of detail and sophistication that allows us, today, to understand exactly how and why this point holds such vast and profound power over our well-being. The convergence of these ancient wisdoms found its most fertile ground in China, where the understanding of the energetic body was elevated to a spiritual science of impressive precision. This knowledge was meticulously organized and recorded in one of the most revered and influential texts in the history of medicine, the Huangdi Neijing, or the inner classic of the Yellow Emperor. This is no simple medical manual. It is a philosophical treatise that describes the human body not as a biological machine, but as a complex empire, a realm governed by energetic forces and in constant interaction with the universe. In this view, each organ has a function and a personality. The heart is not just a pump that pumps blood, it is the emperor, the benevolent sovereign who rules the entire realm. It is the abode of the Shen, the spirit, the seat of consciousness, mental clarity and inner peace. When the emperor is calm and centered, the entire empire thrives in harmony and health. But, like any great ruler, the emperor needs protection. He cannot be disturbed by the chaos and stress of the outside world, for his instability would shake the entire realm. And here comes a fundamental concept. Surrounding the emperor's heart, there is a loyal and powerful guardian. This is the function of the pericardium, the membrane that physically surrounds the heart. In Chinese medicine, the pericardium meridian is seen as the guardian of the heart or the emperor's advisor. Its main function is to protect the heart from emotional shocks, excess stress, and any external energy that might disturb the sovereign's serenity. It acts as a filter, a shield that ensures peace in the throne chamber. While mapping the pericardium meridian, Taoist sages discovered something extraordinary. They identified a specific point along this channel that functioned as a secret passage or inner gate leading directly to the emperor's presence. A portal that, when activated, had the power to almost instantly calm the heart and consequently restore order and peace throughout the corporeal empire. They gave this point a name that perfectly describes its function, Neiguan, which literally translates as inner passage or inner gate. Of all the more than 360 acupressure points they meticulously mapped across the body, the Neiguan shone with a distinct light. While other points had more localized or specific effects, this one seemed to have a domino effect, a systemic influence that spread throughout the body and mind. Activating the Neiguan wasn't like treating an isolated symptom, it was like sending a message of calm and reassurance directly to the command center of one's entire being. It was the equivalent of whispering in the emperor's ear that all was well. But how could a single, small point located on the forearm have such vast and all-encompassing power? How could the simple act of pressing this area influence the body's most vital organ and, from there, our entire physical and emotional state? The answer lies in its strategic position, not only in the physical body, but in the energetic map that constitutes us. Neiguan is the master key to the guardian of the heart, and by activating it, you are not just pressing on the skin. You are opening a gateway to the source of your own inner peace. The exact location of the portal. The vast power of this point may sound mystical and distant, but its location is surprisingly simple and accessible. This sacred portal isn't hidden in some inaccessible part of your body. It's there, right now, on the inside of your forearm, waiting to be found. Finding the Neiguan is an act of bodily self-awareness, a way to begin reading the map that is your own body. Precision is important, as we're talking about a specific energy point. a small area that concentrates immense power. To locate it, the traditional method is simple and uses your own body as a measure. Take the 3 middle fingers of your other hand, the index, middle, and ring fingers, and bring them together. Now place them at the base of the crease in your wrist, with the edge of your ring finger touching the crease line. The Neiguan point is located right there, just below the edge of your index finger. It rests in a small valley, precisely between the 2 large prominent tendons that you can clearly feel by slightly flexing your wrist and fingers. These 2 tendons were not seen by the ancients merely as anatomical structures. In the poetic and energetic vision of the Taoist sages, they were like the banks of a sacred river, a river that carries vital energy, qi, which flows directly from the heart, the emperor, toward the hand, which is the instrument of our action and expression in the world. The hand is how we manifest the will of the heart, and the Neiguan, located perfectly between these 2 tendons, is like a deep and serene spring, a well of calm energy in the midst of this powerful flow. Pressing this point is like diving into calm waters. It's like finding an oasis of peace in the midst of the hectic desert of our everyday minds. The spot is small, no bigger than the tip of a finger, but its connection to the body's command center, the heart-mind system, is direct and immediate. That's why its activation produces such rapid effects. You're accessing a direct line of communication with the guardian of your heart, sending a clear and unequivocal signal that it's time to calm down, restore order, and find peace. This isn't new knowledge. Buddhist monks, meditation masters, and Qigong practitioners have been using this point in secret for centuries. They activated it before their practices to silence mental noise, calm the agitation of the heart, and prepare the body and spirit to dive into deep states of awareness and contemplation. For them, touching the Neiguan wasn't just a physical act of relaxation. It was the first step on an inward journey, the turning of the key that unlocks the door to inner silence. They knew from direct experience that consciously touching this point was the beginning of a profound internal shift. It wasn't just about relieving the stress of the moment, but about retraining the nervous system, teaching the body a new path, a new response to life's challenges. A response that isn't fight or flight, but rather one of calm, centeredness, and presence. They understood that this point was much more than a simple button on the body. It was a bridge, a sacred connection between 2 worlds that, in our modern lives, live in constant conflict, the world of the heart and the world of the mind. The Neiguan is much more than a physical point on your forearm. It is the embodiment of a bridge, a living connection between 2 of the most powerful centers of your being. The heart, which ancient wisdom considers the emotional and spiritual center, and the mind, the center of thought, logic, and concern. In our modern society, these 2 centers live in a near constant state of war. The mind, with its incessant flow of thoughts, judgments, and fears, hijacks our attention and drags us away from the peace and intuition of the heart. In the poetic and profound vision of the ancients, the heart, as we have seen, is the emperor, the throne of the spirit. It is where our deepest wisdom, our compassion, and our capacity for joy reside. The mind, when in balance, acts as a wise minister, serving the emperor with clarity and discernment. However, when the mind becomes agitated, dominated by anxiety and worries about the past and future, it transforms into a noisy rebel that invades the throne room, filling the palace with noise and disturbing the emperor's peace. This internal chaos is the root of much of our suffering. An agitated mind creates a troubled heart, which manifests physically as stress, palpitations, insomnia, anxiety, and a general feeling of disconnection. It's as if we're living in a house where the loud, chaotic music never stops. Activating the Neiguan point is like giving the palace guardian, the pericardium, the direct order to close the gates to the outside tumult. It's an act of reclaiming the heart's sovereignty, of silencing the noise so that the emperor's serene voice can be heard again. That's why, when pressing this point, many people report a sense of calm that seems to descend upon them almost instantly. It's not just muscle relaxation, it's a profound relief, as if a weight has been lifted from the chest. Modern science, always seeking mechanistic explanations, is beginning to validate this ancient wisdom. Studies suggest that stimulating this specific area on the forearm can directly influence the vagus nerve, a crucial component of our parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for our relaxation and digestion response. The vagus nerve is like a superhighway of communication between the brain and many of our vital organs, including the heart. By stimulating the Neiguan, we are, in effect, sending a signal through this pathway to shift the body out of alert, fight or flight mode and into a state of safety and regeneration. This scientifically explains why it helps lower heart rate, reduce nausea, and promote a state of general calm. It's proof that ancient people, without the technology we have today, understood the workings of the body in an incredibly sophisticated way. But what the ancient sages asserted went far beyond simple physiological relaxation. For them, Neiguan was not just a switch for the nervous system, it was a tool of spiritual alchemy. They believed that by harmonizing the mind and heart, this point opened the door to a higher state of consciousness, a state of lucid clarity and profound peace. They saw this point as the key that not only calmed the body, but also opened the door to healing on a much deeper level, a level that modern science has barely begun to explore. The key that opens 100 doors. Now we come to the heart of the mystery, the promise that echoes through the centuries. Why did the ancient masters, with all their wisdom and precision, give Neiguan such a grandiose nickname, the point that cures 100 diseases? Was this an exaggeration, a poetic metaphor? Or was there a literal truth behind this bold claim? The answer is at once symbolic and profoundly practical, and reveals the genius of these sages' holistic vision of human health and well-being. The expression 100 diseases should not be understood literally, meaning that this point cures a specific list of 100 catalogued illnesses. In numerology and the symbolic language of the East, the number 100 represents totality, completeness. Therefore, calling Neiguan the point of 100 diseases is a way of saying that it is a universal action point, a master regulator whose influence extends throughout the system, addressing the root of a wide range of imbalances. It is not a specialist. It is the general practitioner of our energetic body. Tradition teaches that the vast majority of our afflictions, whether physical, mental, or emotional, do not arise out of nowhere. They have a common origin, a blockage or imbalance in the flow of vital energy, qi, almost always caused by chronic stress, repressed emotions such as anger, sadness, or fear, and a disconnection between the mind and heart. Neiguan, by directly harmonizing this fundamental connection, is not just putting out a fire, it is cutting off the fuel supply that fuels countless fires throughout the body. Think of it like the conductor of an orchestra. If the conductor is calm, focused, and in harmony, the entire orchestra plays in sync, producing beautiful, coherent music. But if the conductor is agitated and lost, the musicians become confused, and the result is a cacophony of dissonant sounds. The Neiguan is the point that calms the conductor, which is the heart-mind connection. By restoring harmony in the command center, it allows the entire body, the orchestra, to return to playing its symphony of health naturally and effortlessly. That's why its application is so versatile. Physically, by calming the nervous system and regulating the flow of qi in the chest, it is extraordinarily effective in relieving nausea and motion sickness, calming palpitations and heart arrhythmias, combating insomnia, and dramatically reducing anxiety levels and panic attacks. But its power goes beyond that. By restoring internal order, it strengthens the body's ability to heal itself, acting as a powerful preventative and restorative medicine for a myriad of other issues that are aggravated by stress. Therefore, the true cure for 100 diseases does not lie in treating 100 different symptoms. The true power of Neiguan lies in awakening the physician within you. It doesn't introduce a foreign substance or an external force. It simply removes obstacles and restores internal communication, allowing your body's innate intelligence, which knows exactly how to heal itself, to finally do its work. You're not curing a disease, you're activating your self-healing system and restoring your body to the capacity it always had. All this ancient knowledge, this journey from Egypt to China, now culminates in an act of simplicity and power that you can perform right now. Transforming this ancient wisdom into practical action doesn't require expensive equipment or years of training. It requires only your hands, your breath, and, most importantly, your intention. The practice of activating Neiguan is the gateway to becoming an active participant in your own health, an alchemist capable of transforming agitation into calm. First, let's get physical. Find the Neiguan point on one of your wrists using the three-finger method we described. It's there, in the valley between the two tendons. Now use the thumb of your other hand to apply firm but comfortable pressure. It shouldn't be painful. The sensation should be one of deep, present pressure. Begin massaging the point gently, using small circular motions, as if you were trying to awaken the dormant energy in that spot. Do this for about 2 to 3 minutes. As you apply pressure, bring your awareness to your breathing. This is a crucial step. Breathe slowly, deeply, and deliberately. Inhale through your nose, imagining that you are drawing a wave of calm and tranquility into your body, and that this wave is traveling directly to your heart. Hold for a moment. Then, exhale slowly through your mouth, visualizing that you are releasing all tension, all worry, all mental noise that is disturbing you. Each breath deepens the effect of the pressure, but physical technique and breathing are only the first level. True alchemy, the secret Thoth taught in his houses of life, happens when conscious intention joins touch. Pressing on a point shouldn't be a mechanical act. It should become a ritual, a sacred moment of communication with your own body. As you press, feel that you are sending a clear and loving message of peace directly to your heart. Feel the intention to calm, to harmonize, to restore balance. Your mind is your most powerful tool. Use it to your advantage. While pressing the point, you can repeat a silent mantra such as "I am at peace" or "I release tension." Visualize a soft, healing light emanating from your thumb and filling your entire chest area, dissolving any knots of anxiety or discomfort. This act of combining physical touch, rhythmic breathing, and focused visualization is what transforms a simple acupressure technique into a powerful act of self-healing and energetic transmutation. You can use this technique anywhere, anytime, in a stressful meeting, in traffic, before an important presentation, or at night in bed to calm your mind and encourage restful sleep. Don't underestimate the power contained in this simple gesture. It's your personal tool for managing your internal state, a constant reminder that you're not a helpless victim of your emotions or external stress. You hold at your fingertips the key to accessing your own source of inner peace. Transformation from the inside out. When you begin practicing Neiguan activation regularly, something subtle yet profound begins to shift in your life. At first, you might use it as a reactive tool, an emergency button for moments of crisis, anxiety, or nausea. And it will work wonderfully for that. But with time and repetition, the practice stops being just about relieving symptoms and becomes a proactive journey of inner transformation. You stop putting out fires and start shifting the terrain so they don't start again. This point on your wrist becomes more than a technique. It becomes an anchor, a constant physical reminder of your innate power to restore balance. Every time anxiety begins to creep in, or insomnia threatens to take over your night, you'll no longer feel powerless. You'll know you have an immediate, effective, and sovereign tool to regain control of your internal state. This sense of self-efficacy is, in itself, a powerful antidote to the helplessness that often accompanies chronic stress. This isn't just a trick to feel better momentarily. It's the beginning of a journey of self-discovery and personal mastery. Each conscious touch of the Neiguan is an act that reconnects you to an invisible lineage of wisdom. You're doing what monks, sages, and healers have done for millennia. You're honoring a tradition that, long before modern medicine and its medications, had already deciphered the secrets of the inner temple that is the human body and its complex energetic network. By making this a habit, you begin to rewrite your nervous system's programming. Instead of automatically reacting with stress and alarm to every challenge, your body learns a new path, the path of calm and centering. Regularly activating Neiguan strengthens the tone of the vagus nerve, making the relaxation response more accessible and natural. Over time, you become more resilient, less reactive, and better able to navigate life's storms with equanimity and presence. The most important thing is the shift in perception that occurs. You begin to understand, at a cellular level, that healing isn't something you desperately need to seek outside. It's not in a pill, a therapy, or a guru. The source of healing, peace, and balance is an intelligence that already resides within you. The Neiguan becomes the symbol of this truth. It is tangible proof that you can communicate with your body, that you can influence your physiology, and that you have the power to awaken your own internal pharmacy. This journey from within is the essence of the teachings of Thoth and the Taoist masters. They knew that true freedom is not the absence of problems in the external world, but the ability to maintain inner peace regardless of circumstances. By practicing Neiguan activation, you are not just caring for your body, you are training your consciousness, cultivating your inner garden and, step by step, awakening to the truth that you are the master of your own internal universe. Our journey began in the mystical sands of ancient Egypt, traveled the trade routes that connected worlds, delved into the profound wisdom of imperial China, and finally landed here, now, in the intimacy of your own pulse. We have traveled this long path to discover something that has always been with us. Thoth's great secret was not a magic formula locked in a sarcophagus, but a living, pulsating truth, destined to be rediscovered by each of us. The body is not a blind machine, but an intelligent and sacred temple. The Neiguan point is irrefutable proof that the most extraordinary power often hides in the most disarming simplicity. In our relentless search for complex, external solutions, we forget to look at the map we were given at birth. This point is just one of the many keys we possess, secret portals to our own healing that have been forgotten beneath layers of cultural conditioning and materialistic skepticism. We've been taught to believe that healing is something we can buy, not something we can awaken. The true revelation of this journey is not the discovery of the point itself, but the profound understanding it represents. The great truth is not that pressing a point on the pulse cures 100 diseases. The great truth is that you have always had, and always will have, the innate ability to be your own healer, your own alchemist, your own master. The Neiguan is merely the tool, the finger pointing to the moon. The moon is your own consciousness, your own power to restore harmony. The temple is within you. It has never been anywhere else. Its walls are your body, its altars are your organs, and your vital energy is the sacred flame that keeps you alive. For a long time, you may have felt like a stranger in your own temple, disconnected from its rhythms and wisdom. Now, you hold in your hands one of the keys that opens one of its doors. A key that invites you to enter, to explore, to listen, and to care for the sacred space you inhabit. By using this key, you are not simply seeking relief from a symptom. You are participating in a sacred act of homecoming, a return to trusting the intelligence of your body and the wisdom of your heart. This is the legacy of Thoth, the Taoist sages, and all the masters who have walked before us. They did not want followers, they wanted to awaken other masters. They wanted each individual to recognize the divinity and power that reside within their own being. And now, the journey continues with you. The Neiguan was the first door, but as you gaze into the vast and mysterious temple that is your body and consciousness, a question inevitably arises, echoing in the silence of your new perception. If this was only one of the keys, what other secret doors, what other dormant powers are waiting patiently for you to discover? The exploration of your inner universe has only just begun. If you've made it this far, it's because you felt the call. You're no longer satisfied with superficial answers and are seeking a deeper truth. To let me know you're part of this group that made it to the end, leave the phrase, "The temple is within me," in the comments. This way, I know who the people are who are truly committed to awakening. And if you feel this content has brought you value and want to help this channel grow and spread more messages like this, there's a way to contribute more directly. In the first pinned comment, you'll find a link to support our work. Any help, no matter how small, is immensely important to me and to the future of the channel. But understand, just the fact that you watched until the end is a huge help. And if you can share this video with someone you think needs to hear it, you'll already be making a huge difference. But don't leave yet, your journey doesn't end here. I've put together a special video for you, an essential next step to deepen what we've discussed and apply it even more powerfully to your life. It was handpicked to continue this conversation. So click on the video that's showing on the screen now. I'll see you there.